Is it fair to say, Arsenal fans, that our sporting director, Edu Gaspar, needs to do a better job in scouting the South American market, specifically his homeland of Brazil, for emerging stars? I mean, when he last went there, he brought back Marquinhos, who has proven to be a dud. Let's hope that is second time lucky. Now, we've been linked with this individual, Vitor Reis, for a few months now. The Athletic have picked up on it and reported that our club, Arsenal, are set to rival Real Madrid to the signing of the 18-year-old defender. Despite only playing 15 top flight league games in Brazil, or better yet, 827 minutes of top flight football, excluding cup competition. He has also played in the Copa Libertadores for that matter. He is drawing plenty of admirers. Now, Arsenal and Real Madrid have been listed. You can bet your bottom dollar that everybody in Europe will be looking at him, people. He's another young player with potential to be a rising star and a household name out of the Palmeiras Academy, who recently have sold Estavio to Chelsea, Endrick to Real Madrid, Luis Guilherme, forgive me for mispronunciations, to West Ham. And by the time you lot are viewing this video, there'll probably be a bunch of others. Smash the like button, by the way, people. Now, I'm by no means an expert of this individual, but you know I love young players. Now, first things first, I'll start with a disclaimer. 18-year-olds need time to develop. Young defenders, a bit like young strikers and young goalkeepers, take a while to mature, people. For what I like about him, or better yet, the pros, I think he's very good in the air for a young player. I think he's got very tactical awareness and maturity in that aspect beyond his years. I mean, we all know how complicated the Mikel Arteta formation and system is, individually and collectively, for players. He's very good in 1v1 situations. I think he's got a very good passing range, long and short, and he's got a decent bit of pace and defensive awareness, so he's clearly able to play in a high line. He's also able to play in a back four or a back five, and he appears quite strong mentally. I mean, Brazil is a tough league. It's a physical league. Palmeiras is one of the bigger clubs in Brazil. He's played in the Copa Libertadores, which is the equivalent to the Champions League in Europe. So there's a lot to like about him. I also think, while you can see he's an 18-year-old and he's prone to moments of rashness, I think there's an air of gracefulness in the way he plays and an air of maturity in that regards, people. As you know, obviously his primary role as a defender is a defender, and it's crucial he's able to make interceptions and be defensively sound and solid. And I think his statistics reflect a solid defensive presence and a base to build on, and the only way is up for the 18-year-old. When I do look at cons, people, I think he's very courageous in everything he does, and off the ball and also on it, but I think he's got the ability to actually be more forceful in his passing and take more responsibility in that regards, people. I also think he could do a bit better in defending wide areas and ever so slightly off the ball, but these are expected of someone who's 18 years of age. I know in the modern day, anybody who's talented from 16, 17, 18 odd years of age and they're held as the next big talent, everybody expects to click their fingers, wake up, and they're the next big thing. As you know, life, just simply put, doesn't work like that. So naturally, there's going to be an air of volatility in his performances. The main thing for young players is to install consistency in their game, which obviously he's doing in some aspects, but performance levels will need to go up. Naturally, the jump from the Brazilian league to a top 5 division in Europe is a massive jump, people. Physically, he could improve, but we need to remember he's 18 years of age. He's not in a grown man's body. Now, I don't care. Fabio Cannavaro wasn't the tallest, but some might say at 6'1" odd years of age, he's hardly the tallest or the most commanding of defensive presence. I do think at times, ever so slightly, he can commit needless fouls, people. But I like him, you know, this 18-year-old turning into a 19-year-old in January. So obviously, we wouldn't have to wait to sign him unless we do what we did with William Saliba and buy this individual and also loan him back to his club. That's another thing. We've got to remember he's contracted, I believe, until 2027-28. He's got a release clause of 100 million. They've made big money sales already, as I suggested earlier, so they're not under pressure to sell people. But I do think this individual's attributes make him an attractive prospect for any top club trying to find the stars of tomorrow. As I said earlier, he's comfortable playing in a back 5 or a back 4, which displays adaptability, versatility, and the ability to undertake tasks demanded of you from your manager. These are also key traits that Mikel Arteta and the whole recruitment staff and everybody existing at Arsenal Football Club who makes decisions requires. I love his impressive passing range. I also think he's got great composure of the game. He's got everything the modern day demands of a ball playing defender. And despite being 18 years of age, I would describe him as a leader. His leadership skills are evident. He's captained both Brazil's youth teams and also his club Palmeiras at youth level. He's tasted success at almost every level he's played, winning trophies, throughout his youth career, and played a pivotal role in 2023 when Brazil won the under-17s championship, people. I like him a lot. Once again, at 18 years of age, he's already established himself as a key presence in Brazil football and a key figure for Palmeiras' first team. Tactical intelligence, exceptional positioning, it's stuff you like. Technical ability of a high level on the ball. Naturally, his performances, and better yet, impressive performances, are bound to attract the attention of several European giants and top clubs. Chelsea, Barcelona, Arsenal, Benfica, Real Madrid. The list goes on of clubs that have been linked to him. Chelsea have been signing a couple of South American talents of their own, and we all know that's worked wonders for Real Madrid in particular, people. I mean, we are a young team. One thing that I think would obviously be a boost and a spring in our step if we are to put the finances, which is going to be a big money outlay on this individual, is that we improve young players. We're finding leaders and stars of tomorrow. You look through Arsenal's team, there's several players who have grown, especially defenders. Gabriel has gone up a level. Saliba has gone up a level. Timber, you're going to see him. Calafiori, who had the pick of clubs and obviously significantly older, but is by no means the finished article. We're one of the best defensive teams in the Premier League/Europe. So naturally, for a young defender, you could see what we're doing and why you would want to join us. Our sporting director, Edu, is Brazilian. You'd imagine he's got Brazilian contacts. Hopefully he could persuade this individual. We've got a number of Brazilian players in and around the first team as well, people. But then you look at Real Madrid. Real Madrid have done excellent where it comes to recruiting young South American, specifically Brazilian talents. They've got a lot of them in their squad. Real Madrid is the pinnacle of football. It needs no introduction. They did try and sign the young Lenny Yoro, who obviously opted for Manchester United, which they've actually shown they won't get in a bidding war. So that, if they tried to sign another teenage centre-half, if you're young Victor, do you look at it and say, do you know what, I could go to Real Madrid? And you also got to remember, people, while there's a couple of versatile players and there's been some stop gaps defensively with Real Madrid, currently they've only had two first team centre backs available for the season in Rudiger and Militao. So assuming he signed in January for Real Madrid, there could be some first team football for you. Once again, he is contracted until 2028. They're set to make a lot of money. I do wonder what the asking price would be and if Arsenal are prepared to spend that on an unproven talent, a young, exciting talent who, for me, get him in tomorrow. Where, whether Arsenal will do that's another thing. Where are we going to spend, let's just say 30, 40, 50 million on this individual where we appear well stocked currently at centre half? That's before we talk about a striker, which is going to cost a lot of money next summer. Probably need to sign a centre midfielder or two owing to Partey and Jorginho probably departing the club, and anything else that Mikel Arteta deems that he wants to find. For me, he's one of the leaders of the new school. You lot know I'm a fan of Brazilian football and specifically the Brazilian national team. I'm going to enjoy his rise and his development, and I do think there's a lot to like about him. And if we could marry him, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, Benjamin White, Calafiori, Tomiyasu, etc., etc., us Arsenal fans already know we've got strong defensive depth. So why not have our cake and eat it? One thing that gives me a bit of hope, people, is Real Madrid don't get into bidding wars. So if we're able to outbid them, bit like Man United with Lenny Yoro, that could be helpful to us. But if you're him, do you reckon, you look at Real Madrid, a couple of their players defensively are aging, Arsenal players are in the prime of their careers. Do you reckon you're going to get a lot of football while living in London and playing for Arsenal has attractions of its own? Real Madrid are the biggest club in the world. Also, for a Brazilian, you would imagine the Spanish climate is a lot better to live in than necessarily the English climate. So who knows? And also one thing that gives me credit is the Athletic have spoken about it. For all the rumours that we see about our football club, when the Athletic tend to speak about stuff, it seems like there's legs to it. But we've been linked with him for a while. The Athletic have made their own article. I like him. I'm sure you lot do too. So who knows? We'll have to watch this space. You could only sign him in January at the very earliest, people. For now, we can only deal with what we have in the squad. With that being said, though, appreciative to all of you lot for listening. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. On that note, peace.